This is the Louie Tee Network.
In the lab room. 5 minutes or less.
San Francisco 49ers. Welcome, you are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. 2014 schedule release, 5 minute or less series, San Francisco 49ers. Let's go. So you look at the schedule of the San Francisco 49ers for 2014, and you know I like to start with the primetime games. And so I look at the primetime matchups for this 49ers team, and you know they're a 5-star team. I don't have to tell you that, man. They're one of the blue bloods of the National Football League. They move the needle. They are the San Francisco 49ers, so they've got 5 primetime games. So let's call them 5-star team number 2. And so let's look at their 5 primetime matchups. Thursday night football, week 13, home for Seattle. That is one that no one will miss. That's one that everybody's going to be drooling and salivating on. That's a Thanksgiving game, my friends. That's going to be a good one. That's the nightcap, the third and final game of Thanksgiving. Everybody will be strapped to their seats. That's going to be a barn burner. You look at Saturday. Yes, I said Saturday. We're going Saturday football once again. Late in the season, week 16, home for San Diego. So you got 2 teams out on the West Coast dueling it out in week 16. You're going to be home against San Diego. Sunday night football, 2 of these matchups for the San Francisco 49ers. In week 2, the Chicago Bears are coming to San Francisco. We all remember the last time the Chicago Bears came to San Francisco. Man, was that ugly or what? Matter of fact, that was a Monday night matchup, and that one got ugly fast. That was the first start of Colin Kaepernick. He hasn't looked back since. You look at week 7 at Denver. That is going to be a doozy right there. 2 teams that went very deep into the postseason a season ago. 2 teams that are going to have huge expectations coming in 2014. That should be a lot of fun. You look at Monday night football, week 6 at St. Louis. That's family business right there. That is family business. Last year, you went on the road on Monday Night Football and handled family business against that same St. Louis Rams team. You're looking to do the same exact thing. Those are your 5 primetime matchups for the San Francisco 49ers. You move on to divisional games, and that's where your bread is buttered right there. Going to win this division, going to make it to the postseason in this division, you got to win divisional games. And last year, you were able to win within the division going 5-1 in this division. And so if you can do that again, you'll find yourself in January once again. So you look at this slate of games in the division. Arizona, week 17, you're at home. So last year you had to go to Arizona in week 17. This year they're coming to your place in week number 17. Week 3, got to go to Arizona. Got to get wins on the road early in the season. That should be a lot of fun. St. Louis, week 9, you're at home. Week 6, you got to travel to St. Louis first. So got to get wins on the road. So just looking at that right there, you got 2 road divisional games early in the season. Might talk about that a little bit later. And then, of course, the granddaddy of them all, Seattle versus San Francisco. Those are the games that everybody's circling on the calendar. That is going to be a lot of fun. Week 13, talked about that briefly already. That's Thanksgiving night. Week 13, home against Seattle. Can't wait for that one. Bart Scott, can't wait. Week 15, Seattle, you're on the road. You got to find a way to exercise the demons that are the Seattle Seahawks at CenturyLink Field. You can't seem to buy a win at CenturyLink. You got to find a way to beat the Seattle Seahawks at their place. So that should be fun. Week 15, Seattle at home versus the San Francisco 49ers. So now you move on to anomalies. Not a lot here. And I talked about this in the overview video that I have done. And I said that the San Francisco 49ers were one of those teams that had one of the cleanest schedules in the league. And it is evident by not having a lot of anomalies. You only have a home anomaly. You'll take a home anomaly every single day of the week. 3 out of 4 at home, weeks 2 through 5. So to start the season out, 3 of your first 5 games are going to be at home. That's a heck of a way to start. And they don't punish you for that later on in the season. You don't have a 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5 or a 3 consecutive game stretch where you're on the road. You just got a home anomaly and they let you fly with that. And so you got a break. Your schedule is pretty clean if you are a San Francisco 49ers fan. You have to be pleased with the way the schedule makers have set you up. You look at your bye week, nothing to complain about here. Week 8, you'll take a week 8 bye. Again, that is some solid stuff right there. And again, the schedule makers were smiling down on you when they made this schedule. You look at your MYCs, and what are those? Mark your calendar games. I don't have to explain to you what the mark your calendar games are, but I'll tell you this much. Week 13, week 15, Seattle. That's it. End of the discussion. I will say this much. This is reminiscent of Saints and Panthers a season ago. Remember, and I talked about this last year, that division came down to those two teams playing each other twice in a 3-week stretch. And that division literally came down to those two battling it out first in New Orleans and then later on in Carolina. Same thing is probably going to happen for you two teams. Week 13 is the first time you meet. That's Thanksgiving night in San Francisco. 2 weeks later, you're back facing off against each other. That final matchup will be in Seattle. That should be a lot of fun. Those are your mark your calendar games. And that is the San Francisco 49ers in 5 minutes or less.
While you're here, go ahead and sub up.
In the lab room.